The deadly grapefruit juice. How a seemingly harmless drink sent a 65-year-old with hypertension spiraling towards death. You might think I'm exaggerating, but this is a true story that happened right in our community. Every detail is like a needle pricking the hearts of those with high blood pressure and their families. Today, we won't just repeat the same old advice. We'll share the lessons learned from Maria, a woman whose experience exposes 3 common yet deadly lies about hypertension and reveals the 4 hidden killers lurking on your dinner table. This video is about your quality of life for the next 30 years, so please watch it until the end. But first, if you care about your health, please subscribe and turn on notifications. We share the truth about things that no one wants to talk about. Also, I want to know if you're willing to join me on this journey. If you can relate to this video, please leave a 1 in the comments. If not, leave a 0. If you're struggling with any health conditions, please leave a comment so I can try my best to respond. Our main character, Maria, was 65 years old. This was supposed to be a time for enjoying her grandchildren and relaxing, but 7 years of high blood pressure cast a dark shadow over her life. Like many older adults, Maria had an innate aversion to hospitals and the medications prescribed by doctors. She believed that medicine was inherently toxic, that prolonged use of Western medicine would damage her kidneys and liver, making her dependent on it forever. This fear took root in her mind. She started searching online and taking recommendations from friends looking for so-called natural remedies. When she saw beautifully packaged supplements promising pure plant extracts, no side effects, and a complete cure for hypertension, she felt like she had found a lifeline. She set aside her doctor's blood pressure medication and spent thousands of dollars each month on these health foods. She thought she was investing in her health, fighting her illness in a smarter, safer way. What she didn't realize was that death was already smiling at her. After taking the supplements for a few months, Maria's dizziness and heart palpitations became more frequent. She assumed it was just a healing crisis, a sign that her body was detoxifying. She even started being more flexible with her medication schedule. Sometimes she forgot to take it in the morning and would take it at night. Other times, she would feel good and skip a day altogether. She naively believed she could trick her blood pressure like a child's temper. The tragedy occurred on a beautiful afternoon. Maria finished lunch and drank a large glass of her favorite grapefruit juice. She thought it was both refreshing and healthy. But as she got up to water her plants on the patio, she suddenly felt a wave of dizziness and her vision blurred. She lost consciousness almost instantly. By the time her family found her and rushed her to the hospital, it was too late. A CT scan revealed a massive brain hemorrhage. Despite the doctor's best efforts, Maria passed away. Maria's family was devastated. The doctor's remarks made them feel even more regret. Outside the ICU, Maria's family was overcome with grief. The doctor's words only compounded their regret. He explained that Maria's blood pressure control had been extremely poor. Her blood vessels had been repeatedly damaged by long periods of high pressure and drastic fluctuations, leaving them as fragile as old rubber bands. The final blow, he suspected, was likely that glass of grapefruit juice. A glass of grapefruit juice. How is that possible? It seemed like a far-fetched story, but it was the truth. A deadly truth overlooked by countless hypertension patients. Maria's tragedy is not unique. Medical statistics show that a significant percentage of hypertension patients are repeating the same mistakes, spiraling toward an irreversible fate. Now, let's pause, dry our tears, and dissect these 3 deadly misconceptions. Lie number 1. Prescription medication is poisonous, but supplements are natural and harmless. This is one of the most pervasive and harmful health myths of our time. It preys on people's fear of chemicals and their longing for nature, creating a deceptively appealing trap. Let's think logically. What's behind every small pill your doctor prescribes? Decades, even centuries of scientific research, billions of dollars in research and development, and thousands of rigorous clinical trials. It's the culmination of countless scientists and doctors' efforts. Its mechanisms are well defined, its efficacy is repeatedly proven, and its side effects are fully disclosed and manageable. Your doctor orders regular liver and kidney function tests, not because the medication is guaranteed to harm them, but to monitor your body and ensure safe use. If any issues arise, the plan can be adjusted immediately. This is called scientific management. But what's behind those supplements? Perhaps just a factory, a fancy marketing slogan, and vague claims of, "Everyone who takes it loves it." What are its ingredients? Does it even work? What are the side effects? The truth is, nobody knows, and nobody is regulating it. The extracts and factors that claim to lower blood pressure often have mechanisms that even the sellers can't explain. What you're likely consuming is just expensive starch. At best, it might have some vitamins. But worse, some unscrupulous manufacturers secretly add cheap prescription drugs to make you feel like it's working. You think you're taking something natural, but you're playing a high-stakes game with your life, with unknown doses, ingredients, and risks. Maria was a loser in this game. She placed her hopes in empty advertising promises and abandoned the only scientific weapon that could have saved her. She thought she was avoiding the poison of medication, but fell headfirst into the far more dangerous world of supplements. Remember, medical experts constantly warn that there are no supplements that can replace blood pressure medication. Anyone who claims to completely cure hypertension is 100% a fraud. Your body is not a testing ground. It cannot withstand this kind of abuse. Lie number 2. Taking your medication, whenever is convenient, is good enough. Many people think it's sufficient to take their medication sometime during the day, regardless of the hour. They figure taking it in the morning or at night doesn't matter, or that forgetting today and just making it up tomorrow is all right. I must tell you with the utmost gravity that this type of behavior is sometimes more dangerous than not taking the medication at all. Why? Because our blood pressure isn't a stable straight line. It has its own rhythms and patterns. Scientists have discovered that most people's blood pressure follows a distinct pattern throughout the day called the morning surge. This means that from the moment we wake up, our sympathetic nervous system activates hormone secretion, increases, and blood pressure rapidly spikes like a rocket. It reaches its peak between 600 a.m. and 10 a.m. This surge is when our cardiovascular system is most vulnerable and at risk. The vast majority of heart attacks and strokes occur during this time. Long-acting blood pressure medication is designed to deliver its effects precisely when you wake up, suppressing this dangerous morning surge. So, why do doctors typically recommend taking medication in the morning? It's like firefighters strategically deploying their forces in areas prone to fire outbreaks. If you take your medication in the morning one day, at night the next, and then forget it the day after that, what will happen to your blood pressure? It will fluctuate like a roller coaster, dipping when the medication is active and surging when it wears off. Imagine your blood vessels are like a dam, and high blood pressure is a rising flood. Taking your medication regularly is like constantly inspecting and reinforcing the dam to withstand the flood. In contrast, taking your medication haphazardly is like allowing the most forceful surge of the flood to repeatedly batter the dam, sometimes reinforcing it, sometimes leaving it vulnerable. Over time, even a steel dam will develop cracks and eventually collapse. In the heart, this collapse is a heart attack. In the brain, it is a stroke. Therefore, strictly follow your doctor's instructions, taking your medication at a fixed time and dosage to keep your blood pressure at a stable level. This is the true meaning of taking medication. Lie number 3. Once your blood pressure is stable, you can stop taking medication. This is one of the most tragic and common mistakes. After taking medication regularly for a while and achieving consistently normal blood pressure, a dangerous thought creeps in. Is my high blood pressure cured? Can I stop taking medication now? They start self-adjusting their dosage, going from 1 pill a day to 1 pill every 2 days, and then only taking it when they feel bad. They congratulate themselves on their recovery, believing they have escaped the shackles of medication. But the harsh reality is that the normal blood pressure readings are not a sign that your illness is cured, but proof that the medication is working. They are not the result of a cure, but the result of control. Let's use another analogy. High blood pressure is like a wild beast locked in a cage. Blood pressure medication is the sturdy cage. Taking medication regularly is like checking the cage's door locks every day to ensure they're secure. When you see normal blood pressure, you are seeing the beast safely confined. But what happens when you stop taking your medication on your own? You are single-handedly unlocking the cage. You might think the beast is tamed, but it's simply waiting for an opportunity to strike a fatal blow. The rebound effect can be devastating. After stopping medication, blood pressure often rebounds to levels higher and more dangerous than before treatment. Your blood vessels cannot withstand such drastic changes. Many tragedies involving intracranial hemorrhage occur not at the moment of highest blood pressure, but during periods of dramatic fluctuations. According to surveys, a significant percentage of hypertension patients stop taking their medication on their own. They are playing a game of chance with their lives, and you and your family should never become part of this number. Remember, unless your doctor specifically tells you otherwise, blood pressure medication may need to be a lifelong companion. This is not a restriction, but a safeguard. Now that we've dissected these 3 deadly lies about medication and understand how to manage it, we're one step closer to safety. However, don't let your guard down, because the real battle has just begun. The enemy is lurking in your kitchen, hiding in the foods you consider normal. The 4 dietary killers. Lurking in your kitchen. These are the worst enemies of blood pressure medication, and hypertension patients are better off avoiding them completely. Here are the 4 dietary killers in descending order. Number 4. Liver. Many older adults believe that eating liver nourishes the liver, and that eating beef or chicken liver can replenish blood, making it a beneficial food. It's true that liver is rich in iron, making it a good choice for people with iron deficiency anemia. However, for people with high blood pressure, the liver is a concentrated cholesterol bomb and an obstruction to blood vessels. How powerful is it? According to data from health authorities, just 100 grams of liver contains a whopping amount of cholesterol. Health organizations recommend that adults consume no more than 300 milligrams of cholesterol per day. This means that eating just 2 or 3 slices of liver can nearly exhaust your daily cholesterol allowance. Where does the excess cholesterol go once it enters the body? They adhere to the inner walls of blood vessels, like garbage gradually forming plaque. This is what we call atherosclerosis. The plaque narrows and hardens the vessels, making them fragile. This is like a water pipe filled with rust. It becomes hard to have water flow through, and there is a chance of bursting under pressure. For people with hypertension, liver will exacerbate the problem. Liver makes blood pressure difficult to control and increases the risk of heart attack and stroke. To protect your blood vessels, it's best to avoid high cholesterol organ meats like liver altogether. Number 3. Alcohol. Have you ever heard the saying, "A little alcohol improves blood circulation and lowers blood pressure"? Even some doctors may have made this recommendation in the past. However, the latest medical research has completely debunked this claim. Alcohol is an enemy disguised as a friend to people with high blood pressure. Why do some people think that alcohol lowers blood pressure? Because alcohol does dilate blood vessels when it first enters the body and can temporarily lower blood pressure slightly. This creates the illusion that drinking alcohol is beneficial. However, this process is very short-lived. Once the alcohol is metabolized, the blood vessels contract in retaliation, and blood pressure rebounds sharply, even exceeding pre-drinking levels. These dramatic blood pressure swings do more harm than you can imagine. What's worse, if you're taking blood pressure medication, alcohol will interact with the medication, greatly amplifying its blood pressure lowering effects. This might sound like a good thing, but it's actually deadly. When blood pressure drops too quickly and too low, it can lead to insufficient blood supply to the brain. At best, this can cause dizziness, blurred vision, and fatigue. At worst, it can cause orthostatic hypotension. For older adults, falling can lead to fractures and intracranial hemorrhage. Stop believing the myth that moderate drinking is healthy. For the sake of your safety, say no to alcohol. Tragically 2. Strong. Tea is an integral part of American culture. Many people feel out of sorts if they don't have a cup every day. It's true that drinking tea has many benefits, such as boosting alertness and antioxidant properties. However, be careful, because I am referring to strong tea. Strong tea is a hidden thief of blood pressure medication. What's the problem? The high levels of theophylline and caffeine. Both theophylline and caffeine are central nervous system stimulants that stimulate the sympathetic nervous system, accelerating heart rate and constricting blood vessels. These effects are the opposite of what blood pressure medication tries to achieve. Taking blood pressure medication to slow heart rate and relax blood vessels while drinking a cup of strong tea accelerates the heart and blood vessels, so the medication is canceled out. Not only that, but strong tea also contains tannic acid, which binds to metal ions in the drug and forms water-insoluble precipitates. This directly affects the drug's absorption in the intestines. Eating and drinking something only to have the medication canceled out is futile. So you can drink tea, but only light tea. Furthermore, it's best to drink it at least 2 hours before or after taking your medication. Number 1. Grapefruit. It appears harmless and tastes delicious, but it poses the greatest threat to people with high blood pressure. Why is grapefruit the top killer? Because it contains a chemical substance called furanocoumarin. You don't need to remember this name, but know that it can do something terrible by inhibiting an enzyme in the liver responsible for detoxification and drug metabolism. The enzyme breaks down and processes drugs, but the furanocoumarin in grapefruit is like pouring a large bucket of cold water into the incinerator, causing it to shut down or greatly reduce its efficiency. So it prevents blood pressure medication from being properly metabolized. This causes the drug concentration to be abnormally high and can be several times higher than usual. Research has shown that 1 200 milliliter cup of grapefruit juice is enough to reduce the activity of this metabolic enzyme by nearly half. This inhibitory effect can last up to 24 hours. Therefore, taking 1 pill can create the effect of taking 3, 5, or even 10 pills. Medicine turns into a deadly poison, and blood pressure drops sharply, causing severe heart rate, kidney damage, and even sudden death. This is not an exaggeration. This is for your safety. We talked about so many taboos and revealed so many dangers. You might be a little anxious and panicked. However, we're not here to spread panic. We want to give you and your family the power to truly control your health. High blood pressure isn't scary. What's scary is ignorance and good luck. It's like a strict teacher reminding us that we must live in a more scientific and self-disciplined way. What can ordinary people do to help doctors better manage blood pressure? The 3-2-1 home blood pressure monitoring method. 3. Take blood pressure on 3 fixed days per week. 2. Take blood pressure twice per day, once in the morning, before taking medication, and once at night, before going to bed. 1. Take 2 consecutive measurements each time, and record the average in a notebook. Just take your blood pressure diary, with at least 2 weeks of continuous readings to your doctor, and they will be able to understand your blood pressure and develop the most precise and personalized treatment plan. Drug treatment is just one link in the hypertension management system. It is a foundation, but not the entire picture. A solid, healthy building requires three major pillars to support it. Diet control. The core is low salt, low oil, and low sugar. Exercise intervention. The World Health Organization recommends at least 150 minutes per week of moderate-intensity aerobic exercise. Brisk walking, jogging, and swimming are good choices. Emotion management. Chronic anxiety and stress are catalysts for rising blood pressure. Relax, maintain a happy mood, and your blood vessels will thank you. Maria's story has ended, but the alarm bell it rang in our hearts should never stop. Let us review the 3 deadly lies again. Superstition about health products. Taking medication arbitrarily. Stopping medication on your own. Let us remember the 4 killers on the table: liver, alcohol, strong tea, and the most dangerous grapefruit. The switch of life must and can only be firmly grasped in our own hands. We cannot hand it over to those flashy and false advertisements, let alone those deadly remedies or those repeated lucky things. There is no shortcut to health, so let us arm our minds with science and protect our lives with self-discipline. Please share this video with your loved ones and every friend around you. Every forward and every share may prevent the next tragedy from happening and is saving a family's happiness. You are a spreader of health knowledge and an actor who protects life. Finally, I wish every one of our friends can have stable blood pressure, a strong heart, and a long and healthy life. We'll see you in the next video.